This episode is brought to you by Shopify. Forget the frustration of picking commerce platforms when you switch your business to Shopify, the global commerce platform that supercharges your selling wherever you sell. With Shopify, you'll harness the same intuitive features, trusted apps, and powerful analytics used by the world's leading brands. Sign up today for your $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/tech, all lowercase. That's shopify.com/tech.
At Evernorth Health Services, we believe costs shouldn't get in the way of life-changing care, and we're doing everything in our power to make it possible. Behavioral health solutions that also keep your projections at their best? It's possible. Pharmacy benefits that benefit your bottom line? It's possible. Complex specialty care that cares about your ROI? It's possible. Because we're already doing it. All while saving businesses billions. That's Wonder made possible. Learn more at evernorth.com/wonder.
This is Optimal Work Daily, episode 1329, How to Quit Your Job by James Altucher of jamesaltucher.com. And I'm Dan. I am your host and narrator, and today we're going to hear about a situation that is probably pretty universal. All of us at one time or another have wanted to get the heck out of a job that we're in, so let's hear from James Altucher about how to quit your job as we optimize your life. How to Quit Your Job by James Altucher of jamesaltucher.com. I wanted to quit my job. I hated my boss. He always yelled at me. I hated my coworkers. They always yelled at me. I was addicted to playing chess online. One time, my girlfriend called at 6 p.m. and said, "Don't forget, we have guests coming over for dinner in a half hour." I said, "Just going to play one more game and then I'll be home." At midnight, my girlfriend was banging on my office door, but it was locked and I was in the middle of a set of 100 straight games in a row and couldn't answer her. Finally, at 5 a.m, I stumbled home. When I walked through the door, she threw a backpack of books at me. So, something was wrong in my life. Something was making me unhappy. Here's what I tried. I tried writing novels. I wrote 4 novels, but nobody wanted to publish them. I tried writing a comic book. I wrote a script for one that I thought would be very good. I sent it to DC Comics, but they never wrote back. I went to the venture capital arm of PNC Bank and tried to get a job, and they laughed in my face because I didn't have an MBA. There was this new thing called the World Wide Web. There were maybe 100 websites in existence. I wrote to every publisher and said, "Ultimately, all of your books are going to be in digital form. I can make that happen for you." Not a single one responded. One night, while I was playing online chess all night, I went to the bathroom. Another guy was there. "What are you doing here so late?" Although I thought I knew the answer. He had 3 kids or so. Why wouldn't he be here? He said, quote, "I'm trying to write some software that takes random web pages, figures out what they're about, and catalogs them. I'm thinking the government might fund this project." End quote. I was thinking to myself, good luck with that, and smirking on the inside while I went back to play another 8-hour marathon of chess. The name of that guy's computer was lycos.cs.cmu.edu, and eventually he started Lycos and made $200 million for himself. Finally, I wrote to HBO and said, "You guys should work on virtual reality projects. I can help with it." They wrote back and invited me to visit. I took a few days from work. My parents were really excited. My dad took me to his suit man and got me a suit. I went to the interview. 4 different interviews. I was so excited. Someone named Winnie Ho worked there. I wanted to work at a place that had employees named Winnie Ho. And I bombed every interview. "Do you know Macintosh programming?" No. "Do you know how to do networking programming?" No. "Do you know how to configure an internet server?" No, 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 no. After the interview, I called my girlfriend and said, "I don't think I got the job." She was relieved. She didn't want me to move. I was depressed. I sat down and played chess in Bryant Park with the chess players that still gather there 20 years later. I was going to cry. I looked up at one point, and there was the boss of the boss of the boss of the first guy who interviewed me. It turned out he was into chess. We took a walk around the park and talked about chess and music and programming and virtual reality. I went home to Pittsburgh and applied for a job at a comic book store. They didn't hire me. Then, 2 weeks later, Rob, the chess-playing boss, called me and offered me $40,000 a year to work at HBO. I was making $27,000 at the time, but had lied and told him I was making $38,000. He offered me a job. He offered me a job. A week later, my boss yelled at me about some random thing I did. He yelled at me in front of everyone. He yelled, "Did you really just tell me you blah, blah, blah?" And I said, "Yes." And he yelled again in front of the team, "I don't think I heard you. Is anyone that stupid?" For the entire prior 8 months, I had diversified my possible outcomes. Every day, I had tried every possible way to get a job. And everybody rejected me for everything. I probably tried 20 different ways to create the job of my dreams. Finally, one thing worked. One thing got me lucky. I bonded on some random thing with a decision maker. But in chess, there's a saying, only the good players get lucky. So when my boss wanted to humiliate me and he yelled at me that second time in front of everyone, I finally had a perfect response. I quit. You just listened to the post titled How to Quit Your Job by James Altucher of jamesaltucher.com. When it comes to hiring, don't go searching for the one. Just meet your match with Indeed. Indeed is your matching and hiring platform with over 350 million global monthly visitors and a matching engine that helps you find quality candidates fast. Ditch the busy work. Use Indeed for scheduling, screening, and messaging. 93% of employers agree. Indeed delivers the highest quality matches compared to other job sites. And one of the things I really love about Indeed is that it filters out those incompatible applicants. So when you're hiring, the process is much faster and you only have to consider applicants that are already likely to be a great fit. And listeners of this show will get a $75 sponsored job credit to get your jobs more visibility at Indeed.com/startup. So just go to Indeed.com/startup right now and support our show by saying you heard about Indeed on this podcast. Indeed.com/startup. Terms and conditions apply.
Your brain needs support, and new Ollie Brainy Chews are a delightful way to take care of your cognitive health. Made with scientifically backed ingredients like Thai ginger, L-theanine, and caffeine, Brainy Chews support healthy brain function and help you find your focus, stay chill, or get energized. Be kind to your mind and get these nootropic chews at ollie.com. That's OLLY.com. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
And thank you so much to James for sharing this post today and for sharing his work regularly here on the show. James is an entrepreneur, a writer, investor, trader, and podcaster. You could call him a jack of all trades, which many entrepreneurs are, and maybe you can relate to that. And he has a podcast of his own where he's interviewed a bunch of talented people like Tony Robbins, Tony Hawk, Mark Cuban, and many more. That podcast is called The James Altucher Show, and you can always find it in the top charts in the business category of Apple Podcasts for very good reason. He's also written a bunch of books, and you can find all of them at jamesaltucher.com. That's ALTUCHER. But that's it for this episode of Optimal Work Daily. I hope you enjoyed it and that you'll join me again tomorrow, where your optimal life awaits.